Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Pretty Accomplished, and today is just going to be. Let me sit back. So today is going to be just part two to the dating video that I put up. And the reason why I'm doing this video today is that I put a status on Facebook um, last night, and when I woke up today, there's an overwhelming response to the status. And I am going to paraphrase. Basically, what I said is that God is love, and I would never commit myself to a man who does not understand or embrace that concept. If he lacks spiritual love in his life, how could he possibly love me the way I deserve to be loved? And I also said, if you really want to know how a man feels about you, start talking about courting, start talking about celibacy, and see how his reaction is. Okay. And I'm not trying to push like any of my beliefs off on anybody. I understand that a lot of people do not approach dating or courting or whatever the same, even sex the same. And I, for one, don't consider myself a very religious person, but I do conduct myself in a way that I feel is right for me. You have to define for yourself what you think is morally and spiritually correct, and that's for you to decide, not for anyone else to decide. So if that means that you are a certain religion, if you're a certain denomination, then good. And if it doesn't, then good. We all have the right to interpret things and conduct our lives the way we see fit. So I'm not trying to push, like, this is not a religious video. Um, However, I do think that a lot of times women are unclear about how a man feels for them, or they're unclear about what his motives are. And I think that if you are looking for something of substance, if you are looking for a potential partner, a potential mate, a potential husband, then there's some questions that you need to be able to ask him. There are some things that you need to be able to put on the table. And if you put him on the table and he can ride with it and he's like, okay, fine, cool, I respect that, and I still want to be with you, then he might be a good catch. If you tell him, I want to court, and by definition, courting to me means dating with the purpose of marriage. Dating with the basically dating with the purpose to find a mate for marriage. Okay, so courting is a step of beyond to mean dating. You may start off dating someone and decide that they've met the initial qualifications, so now you want to court. You know, go into the courting phase where it's a little bit more serious. You are committed and you have a purpose. Both of you have the same purpose of evaluating each other to see if you're compatible enough for marriage, not just to become a boyfriend or girlfriend, but can this ride out to in the long term? Will this work? So that's what courting is. And there's a lot of issues that arise when one person wants to court and the other one doesn't. If you two are in a relationship or in a situation and your final goal is not the same, more than likely you are going to butt heads. Arguments are going to arise. There are going to be some hurt feelings potentially because you two are not on the same page. That's why I say put it out on the table. If you get to the point where you're like, you know what, I've had fun dating, but I'm looking for something more serious, and you decide that you want to start courting, um, which a man courts a woman, okay, and you decide you want to be courted, then you need to make that clear to a man, not to run him off. It's not something you want to say on the first date. I'm not saying that. But you do need to be honest with what your feelings are and your intentions are. There's nothing wrong with saying, I've dated and I've enjoyed dating. However, now at this point in my life, I'm looking for something more of substance. It doesn't mean I'm trying to get married tomorrow, but it does mean that I'm not dating anyone who cannot potentially be my husband. So if I feel like a person is not compatible with me in the long term, then I'm not going to even date them. It's nothing wrong with saying that to someone and then dating them to figure out if they really are compatible with you. Also, with the celibacy thing, if you decide that you don't want to have sex until you're married, or you don't want to have sex until you are into a committed monogamous relationship, then that's your prerogative. And any man that truly loves you will respect and honor that. There's this notion now that, oh, if I'm not having sex with him, then he's not going to love me, he's not going to want me. That is not true. Maybe the men you dated felt that way, but there are a lot of men out here that will respect you and honor that in you if you are genuine about it and you're honest about it, and if they really love you. If they want you, they want you. If a man really wants you, like I said before, there is nothing that can stop him from letting you know that. And if letting you know that means that he has to adhere to celibacy, if it means he has to adhere to courting you, then so be it. He's going to do it if he really wants you. Period. Point blank. You don't have to compromise on those things. If you choose to compromise, then that's your choice. But you don't, as a woman, you shouldn't feel like it's necessary for you to compromise on that. Another thing that I don't recommend is setting a time limit or a time frame on when you're going to have sex. So, whether you choose to wait till you're committed or not is your business. But I wouldn't go into it telling a man, well, I'm going to wait 3 months before I have sex with you. I know that Steve Harvey made that very popular, and it's nothing wrong with you having a mental time limit in your own head, but I wouldn't voice that to a man. Okay? And the reason why I wouldn't is because you're giving this man hope that when the time limit is up, if he's performed correctly or impressed you enough, then you're going to have sex with him. No, that's not how it should work. If you want to keep a mental note in your head, then that's fine. I don't do that, but if you want to, that's cool. But I would not communicate that to the opposite sex. Why? So he can be Mr. Perfect until 3 months is up or 6 months or whatever. I do think it's good to wait because things are revealed to you about a person's character within a time frame that would normally not show up potentially in the beginning. So it is good to wait before you get really, really involved and start falling hard for someone and all of that. Like it is good to wait. It is good to take your time because if it's love and he's the one, then it doesn't matter whether it's been 3 months, 6 months, 10 months, 12 months. If he's the one, then he's just the one. And if you go slow, it doesn't mean that you're going to miss the opportunity. You can still engage him in conversation. You can still spend time with him. You can still do things with him and have fun with him. You can still gauge your level of romantic interest with him. And you have to decide how long that takes you to finally say, I think that he actually is genuinely XYZ. But I do think it is good to wait a time frame. But what I'm saying is don't just pick a number and tell a guy that it's 3 months or 6 months or something like that. Keep that to yourself if you're gonna pick a number and put it in your head. Um, what else? I hope I'm making myself clear because I have so many thoughts and opinions on this running through my head right now. Let's see. I think that's it for this video. I think that you should be honest with the man. I think that you should not be afraid to express yourself. I think that there's a way to let a man know what type of woman you are without scaring him off. I personally have met plenty of men who I've been very upfront with about what my expectations are, and they all rose to the occasion for the most part. Whether it worked out or not, we may have not been compatible, but I never had to compromise on what my desires were, my limitations, and the fact that I was not interested in having casual sex. I never had to compromise on that, and I've had some nice dating experiences. So I don't think that you should have to compromise. You define dating, courting the way you want to. I'm just giving you my opinion on what those things mean and how I try to conduct my life, my dating, etc., etc. Please join this conversation. Even if you are a man watching this, please give your feedback. It's always interesting to get a man's perspective. And I talk to my guy friends, my relatives, my brothers about this all the time. And it's so funny hearing from a man, his opinion. But one thing I can tell you is that a man that will respect you more when you respect yourself. So everything starts with respect. Everything starts with respect. And don't feel the need to compromise. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. This is Pretty Accomplished. And until next time, peace, love, and prosperity. Bye, y'all.